Welcome back to Up North F4. We are joined by author Mark Miazga, recently of the University of Minnesota, but originally from Rhinelander, right?
Correct. I graduated with the class of 1987.
Okay, go Hodags. So tell me a little bit more about what inspired you to write about Rhinelander history.
Sure. So my father was almost 50 when I was born. So I was one of those kids who heard all these stories about the Depression era and the old hockey teams and all these things. And as I got older, none of my friends' parents knew what I was talking about.
Right, because they're probably 25 years younger than your dad. Okay.
Exactly. And I thought these stories needed to be researched, validated, and written about. So that was the main inspiration, was my dad.
Well, we love history around here, and Rhinelander has a lot of it, right? Where do we start? You've written about 3 books now, right?
Correct.
What are the first 2 about?
So there's 6 chapters in each of the first 2. I would say that the highlights of the first one, I wrote about the hobo jungle behind the paper mill and what that was like. Johnny Kotz of Rhinelander, who led Rhinelander to the last state high school championship, last Badger national championship, and whose coach taught the team the one-handed push shot that was new nationally. And they went down, and Milwaukee and Madison teams had never seen anything like this.
Oh, okay.
So that was a highlight of the first. The second one, I wrote a lot about the Rhinelander Hornet hockey team that won several state championships in the 50s. And it started out as a very rough and tumble kind of barroom team. And then we're taught how to pass and how to play through the help of a coach that moved here. Some other highlights of those chapters, the history of like Highway 17, going back to when it was an Indian transport road. Rhinelander Brewery was one. In this new one, there's 9 chapters, but I think the fun ones to research were the history of the street names, the history of the Fastpitch softball tournament at Pioneer Park that used to draw 4,000 people in one day.
Wow.
It did. It was the bomb. It brought teams in from Upper Michigan, as far away as Minnesota and Canada. And probably the funnest one to local viewers and readers would be, I did a chapter on moonshine.
Can we talk about that for a second? Are we talking like Kentucky moonshine, or what are we talking about here?
Well, if you know the history of Forest County, you know it was founded by a lot of folks up from Kentucky who knew a thing or two about stills and how the science behind the manufacture of the product. What I didn't know, I had heard stories from my father about a neighbor when he was a child on the west side who ran moonshine down to Chicago to the Amos and Andy show, and another gentleman who had a farm right at Davenport Street and Highway 47. So I poured over about 30 years of newspaper articles and found a lot of names I recognized. So I say in the chapter, my intent is not to judge anything. People were just trying to get by.
Yeah.
So if people see the name of a saloon that their grandpa had, it should be a badge of honor, if anything.
So you say they're just trying to get by, right? So these are people during the Prohibition. You know, my impression that people just wanted to drink, but you're saying this was a way to make money and another way they couldn't?
It was a way to make money. It was a way for low-income families to make money even running the product as a transporter. So you had manufacture, you had transportation, you had distribution, and you had a lot of bars that were selling it, and everybody knew they were selling it. But yeah, a lot of these people, their farms were going poorly. They were looking for another market, and this is the market they chose.
Found it.
And one of the fun stories, I found a family that we knew well, where the mom is arrested for manufacturing in her home on the west side. The son ends up going to World War II, serving his country, and then he comes back to serve on the city council and is a big mover and shaker behind the building of Westside Park, which is another chapter which has a whole cool story in of itself.
Well, I would like to read more. Where can I find this book?
So in 2 weeks from today, I will be picking them up from a Tony, Wisconsin printer, and you can find it then at the Hodag store, Kids Corner, Pioneer Park Historical Complex, hodagpress.com, and my Tales of the Northwoods Facebook page.
Very good. Okay, Mark, thanks so much for joining us. We look forward to the release of your new book. We're going to have a guest on. Do you mind just sticking around, though, for kind of a silly game later?
I'm excited about this next guest.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, we'll be right back. We're going to be joined by the CEO of Stormy Cromer. We'll see you in a few minutes.